Coming up next on the Giants Chronicles podcast, we break down Daniel Jones' new contract that he just signed yesterday. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Giants Chronicles podcast, episode 12. How's everyone doing? So, yesterday at 4 o'clock was a tag deadline, and the Giants used till the last minute to finish their negotiations with Daniel Jones, and they got a deal done. I believe it was 5 minutes. Actually 6 minutes. Joe Shane said it was 6 minutes today before the tag deadline that they got a deal done with Daniel Jones's representatives. So they were pushing up hard against the wire. So very interesting. But I wanted to make a video to break down the contract. Of course, a lot of Giants fans had different reactions to it. And I mean, understandably so. It's a big commitment to a quarterback to commit, and and so with big numbers come big concerns. But I want to give you guys a better idea of how this contract is structured, because everyone always looks at the big picture numbers, but really you kind of got to get the breakdown by year, the signing bonus numbers like that. Because that's really what comes into picture when you're doing a contract negotiation like this. So the first numbers that we got, like the first detailed numbers we got were yesterday. Ian Rappaport reported, I believe it was an hour after the contract was agreed to. 4 years, $160 million, $35 more, or $35 million more in potential incentives. $82 million over the first 2 years, $94 million guaranteed at signing, and the first year cap numbers around $19 million. So that's the first picture we got of the Daniel Jones contract and what it was going to look like. So that was the first picture we got. So that was the first one, and then Obviously, we then got more contract numbers came out today, which is why I'm making this video today, because I kind of wanted to make sure I got the final numbers in before I completely, blew. So I'm going to share with you guys the contract, the contract details. So this is on Over the Cap. So yeah, this is on Over the Cap. Let me just close out these ads. So the current contract, he just signed it. Obviously, he officially signed it last night, but they put out the post this morning with him signing the contract. So this year, the cap hit is $19 million. Again, that's not bad. That's actually pretty great, because if we franchise tagged him, the cap number would have been $33 million. So right then, you see, wow, we saved money this year by doing the contract extension, which is why Shane really wanted to get this extension done instead of having to tag him. It's 8.3% of the cap. Again, that's a low number, lower than I believe Kirk Cousins is one name that comes to mind of the cap. So again, good deal. And and then he of course got his his base salary is $9.5 million. So, $9.5 million. What the reason that his first year is so cheap? You're probably wondering, why is it so less expensive? Because he just signed the signing bonus. So, I believe down here it tells us how much the signing bonus is. So it's a $36 million signing bonus. And what happens with the signing bonus, guys, is it gets divided by the amount of years a contract is. So this contract's 4 years. So that $36 million signing bonus got divided by 4, and that comes out to Let me check to confirm. 30. I believe not around $9 million per year. Yes, so $9 million is the prorated bonus. So you can actually, it says that right there, prorated bonus, 9 million, 9 million, 9 million, 9 million. So I don't know why I was using a calculator, but I did. So that's the bonus right there is $9 million. And then you go over and then the salary for this year is $10 million. So that's why it comes to the number of $19 million. You also can get the workout bonus, which is $500,000. Pretty easy to earn that. It's what it sounds like. You work out, you get a bonus kind of thing. It basically means you like go in the facility, you work out, there's your bonus. So then, of course, with that low number comes a high number the following year. So the following year, the contract goes up to $45 million with the cap number. Guaranteed, the salary is $36 million, and then again we have that $9 million bonus, and then the base salary of $35 million. So, again, of course, it's gonna, and then it's in that year it's gonna be 17.6% of the cap. The important thing to keep in mind here is that cap number for 2024 can go up. There will be money coming in from YouTube, who just bought the Sunday ticket that's previously been with DirecTV. Money comes from that. I'm sure there will be other, and then there's of course money that comes just from the business of the NFL. And all that. So I'm sure the cap will go up. We just have yet to receive it. But as the cap stands right now is 17.6% of the cap. Again, not a bad deal. That again, it's a higher number for year two, but that shouldn't make you shy away. 2025, you have $30 million as the base salary, and then we factor in the $9 million from the signing bonus, and then the workout bonus, which is $500,000, and then that gives you $39,500,000. So, it goes down again. See, it's kind of like a back and forth. It kind of it's down, it goes up, it's down, it goes up. So right, and then that's 14% of the salary cap. I guarantee you by that year, the salary cap will be skyrocketed. And in 2025, this deal will look like a steal for the Giants. I guarantee you. Because in 2025, quarterbacks are going to be getting paid a bunch of money. You have quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Tua Tagovailoa possibly, who are all Joe Burrow, who are all going to be getting new contracts soon that are going to be higher than this. I guarantee you it will be higher than this. This will be their floor for those type of players and their agents. Daniel Jones set a floor for what a quarterback coming off of a decent year is. He has set a new floor for a decent quarterback in the NFL. And then the following year is where it gets a little high. It's $56 million the following year. But like I just talked about, the salary cap will be way up by then. Of course, right now you see it's 18.3% of the cap currently. But by 2026, there will be a lot more money coming into the NFL. There will be new TV deals, like I said. And, of course, there's a bunch of cap that will also, other than just the TV deal. So it will be, I guarantee you that percentage that you're probably seeing of the 18.3% right there of the cap, that will go down. Don't worry about that because, again, 2026, that's 4 years in advance. So we can't really project what that QB deal will be at, but it will still look like a good contract because, like I said, for 2025, there will be quarterbacks getting paid way more than that than just Daniel Jones. So I'm pretty sure that percentage will go down. And again, also, if something did not go right after 2025, you're looking at it, the deal isn't great and he hasn't performed up to that level, you can cut him. You can cut him and save $47 million and only have $9 million in dead cap. Of course, you're doing that. So that's That's the security blanket Joe Schoen has. After year 3, he can cut him, and it's not going to be a huge dent. And they save $47 million. So that's the security blanket. That's the out. It was initially reported that after 2 years there was going to be an out. When the final contracts deal, final contract numbers came out, this is what the final contract is. So, with this, now I kind of want to give you my opinions on it. So I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. So with this, I want to talk about the contract. I want to talk about the reaction from the public. The reaction from the public is completely out of proportion. Out of proportion. Has everyone, every Giants fan has backed Joe Schoen. Every Giants fan has even gave Joe Schoen his props, and now we're jumping off ship, or some Giants fans are jumping off ship because of this Daniel Jones contract. No. If you are truly a Giants fan, you do not jump off ship because a player got a contract you disagree with. Is it maybe a little overpaid? Maybe, but you got to put in perspective how much quarterbacks cost. Kyler Murray is getting paid $46 million per year, and what has he done in his career? Nothing. The answer is nothing. He's getting more than Mahomes per year. So if you really want to pick on a quarterback contract, go check out Kyler Murray's. But I'm not here to contrast. This is Daniel Jones' contract. This is how much he's going to be getting paid. You can sit here and cry about it, but in the end of the day, this is your favorite team's quarterback. This is the quarterback that will be leading your favorite team every year for at least the next 4 years. At least. He is your franchise quarterback right now. If you don't like it, oh well. But like I just showed you, the contract is actually structured very smartly. This year, there's not a big cap hit. It goes up a little bit, then it goes down again. So it's structured so it fluctuates in the cap hit. And again, there is no reason why you should be jumping on ship from Joe Schoen now. No reason. Also, I want to bring up the fact of the matter that Daniel Jones was initially shooting high. He was asking for $47 million. He went into negotiations and asked for $47 million. And Joe Schoen brought him down to $40 million per year. That is heck of negotiation tactic. I mean, it is very $47 million and $40 million are two very different things. $47 million is over. I repeat, over what Patrick Mahomes is making. $40 million is where Dak Prescott is making, which I think is a fair ask for Daniel Jones to get, and that's a fair contract for him to get. Dak Prescott made it to the divisional round this past year. That's the farthest Dak Prescott has ever made it in the playoffs, or his whole career. The farthest he's ever made in the playoffs is the divisional round. Daniel Jones made the divisional round this past season. I think also Daniel Jones's ask was a little higher was because of the fact that this past year he wasn't put in the best situation. He was put in a situation where he had virtually nothing around him, and he kind of had to carry the load. Yes, there was Saquon Barkley to help him along, but if people remember, Saquon, of course, the first half of the year highlighted Saquon Barkley, and then the second half of the year, Daniel Jones came along, and he was a big reason why they won the second half of the year into the playoffs. He played smart football. He cut down on the turnovers. And then the other thing, the other critic of the contract is, Daniel Jones only had 15 touchdowns this past year. Wrong. He had 22 touchdowns because rushing numbers count. I want to say that again. He had 22 touchdowns this year. Any touchdown counts. Okay. He had 22 total touchdowns. All right. He was 6th in QBR, quarterback rankings, through the ESPN database. I repeat, that is 6th in QBR. That is top 10. For those who do not know, quarterback ranking is QBR stands for quarterbacks rankings, and it takes all of a quarterback's stats and basically puts it into a database, and they average them out, all of that stuff like that. And the top 10 QBs with QBRs is very valid. Very valid. The top 5. So don't tell me this like whole thing is BS, because no, it's not. Because let me tell you, the first quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, a Super Bowl trophy, a Super Bowl winner, and a Super Bowl MVP. The second is Josh Allen, who was unstoppable this year. I mean, unfortunately, had a bad end to their season and losing in the divisional round, I believe it was, of the playoffs. But he's a top 5 quarterback. Number 3 was Tua Tagovailoa. Now that you can debate on that one. I would agree with that. That is a little high, but part of the ESPN database is it calculates in the games you miss. It's only taking data from the games he played in. Number 4 was Jalen Hurts. Again, Jalen Hurts was an MVP finalist. So Jalen Hurts definitely deserves to be in that top 5. Number 5 was Jarrad Goff. Yeah, Jared Goff's not that great. But Jared Goff, if you look at his stats and everything, he had a decent season. And Daniel Jones, number 6 in QBR. And Geno Smith behind him, it's 7. So QBR is a valid stat. Now, what I will say is if you go in more depth of Daniel Jones' stats, it leads more towards a top 15 QB, which is where I think he currently is after this year. He is a top 15 QB. But who is to say that he can't get into that top 10? Name 10 quarterbacks right now. I know we're not doing this live, but tell me 10 quarterbacks that are better than Daniel Jones. So I'll give you my list. I'll give you my list of who I think is top 10. All right, so you have, I'm going to give Patrick Mahomes 1, Josh Allen 2, Joe Burrow 3, Jalen Hurts 4, 5 is Tom Brady, 6 is Justin Herbert. I mean, see, like you're already at a loss kind of for names. That's my point. Is you can't really always name a top 10. It's harder than you think. There are 32 teams in the NFL. And you had quarterbacks like Marcus Mariota, Andy Dalton, Jacoby Brissett starting this year, and they're not top 10 quarterbacks. Derek Carr's not a top 10 quarterback, maybe top 15. So there are there are reasons to believe Daniel Jones is a top 10 QB. His stats are only going to improve. And also, he was in year 2 of a new offensive system. He was just learning this offensive system. So one would presume from that is that he's only going to get better as the years go on in Brian Dable's system. Brian Dable's not going anywhere. So why be concerned about him getting a new offensive scheme? He's not going to, because the reality is yes, Kafka is a good OC, but it is Dable's offense that Kafka is running. Kafka came to the Giants and got taught Dable's offense from Dable, and that was the offense he was told he was going to run. So, that is kind of my thoughts on why I think I'm not over here saying that the contract is overpaid. I think there's reasons you can say, but like Joe Shane said, and in his presser today, he literally came out and said, it's more of what we think the future has for Daniel than what his past has. Year 2 and 3, he said, filled with injuries. His rookie year, when he was coming out, we saw in Buffalo, they scouted him. They saw a good kid who was going to be a smart and a good quarterback in the NFL. And then what do you know? This past year, he goes out and he's in a good offensive scheme. He has a good head coach, a good OC, and look what he does. He performs. So that's my point, is it's more based on the potential Daniel Jones has. And yeah, is there risk that comes with that? What happens if he gets injured? What happens if he, comes out and doesn't do as good? Well, then you're in a bit of a pickle, but there's a higher chance of him having success. There is a higher chance. Brian Dable is known for taking quarterbacks and making them successful. He did with Tyrod Taylor in Buffalo year 1 when he was there. So it's not out of, yes, there's risk, and there's risk with any contract. With any contract you sign, there's a risk. So don't come and tell me he's overpaid, because I will bring you these facts. Okay. I know I have Cowboys fans that follow me. Listen, yes, Daniel Jones is getting paid the same annual per year as Dak Prescott. Your quarterback, however, has a $49 million cap hit this year and has only made it to the divisional round. So there is reason for Daniel Jones to be considered in that same tier, if you want to call it, with Dak Prescott, with who else is in that tier? Kirk Cousins, people like that. I think he's way better than Kirk Cousins. So honestly, I actually like the contract. I'm very happy that Joe Shane got the number down for 47. They met in the middle, and that's what all contract negotiations are going to be. You meet in the middle. So I made this video to kind of give you guys a better idea of the Daniel Jones contract. I hope that it does give you a better idea. If it doesn't, you still have questions, DM me on Instagram, DM me on Twitter, or Twitter message me, whatever, and I will be happy to answer them. I wanted to pull up bonuses that Daniel Jones also has $35 million in potential bonuses. So I'm going to bring that up for you so you guys get the whole details on the situation, because again, I'm trying to bring you guys the best information possible. All right, so NBC Sports actually posted the full terms of the Daniel Jones deal. So like I said, it's a sign bonus, $36 million. That's prorated to $9 million per year. And then the base salary, his first year is $9.5 million, but we went over it. It's going to be an $18 million cap hit because of the fact that you have the $9 million prorated signing bonus on top of it. So then let's get into the bonuses, because I covered all the base salaries, the workout bonuses, etc. So he gets a roster bonus of $1 million in the 2026 offseason. So then Jones will earn $1 million in incentives and $1 million escalator in each year for being a top 15 quarterback. So like Daniel Jones, I was just saying, Daniel Jones was a top 15 quarterback this past year. If he reaches that again, he will be given $1 million. He can earn another $1.5 million in incentives and a $1.5 million escalator in each year for being a top 10 quarterback. So if, like I said, he has top 10 potential, he could possibly be a top 10 quarterback. He earns an extra $0.5 million from being a top 15 quarterback. So that's like $500,000. He can earn another $1.5 million of incentives and $1.5 million escalator in each year. So as the years go on, it will get more if he's for being a top 5 quarterback. So if he reaches top 5, which I don't think he ever will, I don't know if he's that elite, but hey, he could. You never know. He can earn another $1.5 million. And then if he's a top 5 quarterback the next year and the next year and the next year, he'll earn an extra $1.5 million every year that goes on. That's $4 million in incentives and a $4 million escalator in escalators if he's a top 5 quarterback in any given season. He also has a playoff incentives. So that he has $5 million in playoffs playoffs incentives. If Jones performs in 2023 as he did in 2022, he will earn another $1.75 million in 2023 incentives and earn $1.75 million in 2024 escalator. So escalating it $1.75 in 2024 from 2023. Same level over the life contract, he'll earn $12.25 million of the available $35 million, pushing the total value to $172.25 million, an annual average of $43.6 million. So, if Daniel Jones goes out there, he meets all these incentives that I just told you about, playoffs incentives, top 5, top 10, top 15 incentives, stuff like that, it could potentially earn up to a $43.6 million. But again, that is if he is reaching these incentives. So you have to put that into factor that he has to reach these incentives. So again, it's not a guarantee he meets them. So let's not freak out about the $43.6 million average, as Pro Football Talk of NBC Sports points out here. And then they go on to say, it's basically a 3-year deal. It's not really a 4-year deal. It is a $112.5 million contract. And the 47.5 in 2026 is not guaranteed. So they can easily say, okay, bye Daniel Jones after 2025 and not have him as their quarterback in 2026. So there is a lot that goes into play here. But again, this is a good medium ground for both parties. Both parties met at this ground, and it is a good medium ground. Quarterback contracts are hard. Joe Schoen said their quarterback contracts are hard because you don't know what the value are you're going to get around the league. But trust me, Joe Schoen did his due diligence. He said in his press conference today, I went around at the combine. I was talking to other GMs about quarterback contracts, how they do them, etc. I called my friend Brandon Bean, the GM up in Buffalo, about quarterback contracts. I was there in Buffalo when we signed Josh Allen to a quarterback contract. So Joe Schoen knows what he's doing. He did his due diligence. I'm assuming he knew that he could get this on the market. And Joe Schoen said, I was stubborn. I stuck my ground. He said, I stuck my ground. And he didn't necessarily say he didn't go above where he would have liked. Maybe he did a little, but that's what a medium ground is in the NFL between the both parties. It works out for both parties. The Giants don't have to worry about the $33 million cap hit, and they're not going to be hamstrung for cap money this year. Daniel Jones said that part of the deal was that he wanted the team to be able to still go out and get the team players and not just himself as taking all the money. So he really wanted it to work out for both sides too. But that kind of concludes the Daniel Jones contract talks. Now I'm just kind of going to give you updates. So yesterday, Saquon Barkley, in the same 5 minutes that they did the Daniel Jones contract, they tagged Saquon Barkley. My expectation with that is that it's kind of like a placeholder, just so he doesn't hit the open market and can talk to other teams. Now, it is the non-exclusive franchise tag. So that is important. It is the non-exclusive franchise tag. So he can still talk to other teams, but those teams have to be willing to give up the 2 first-round picks for him, which who is going to give? There is no way a team gives up 2 first-round picks for Saquon Barkley. And if they do, you take the picks and you draft a running back. I mean, it's not that big of a problem if they do. But I think in the end, by July 15th, which is the deadline to sign the franchise tag or get a new contract, I think they'll have a deal in place. And I think it will be that $13.5 million range that I've stated from the beginning. Jarrad Davis was just signed, actually, I believe 30 minutes ago. He was signed to a new deal. Don't believe we have the contract details on it yet. I'm assuming it's like a 1-year vet minimum type of deal, though. So don't be concerned about that. Don't really take that farther than you need to. It's probably just a kind of a depth piece. And yeah, so that kind of concludes the Giants news for the past couple days, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like what you're watching and give it a thumbs up. And share with your friends. Share with your fellow Giants friends. Share on your social media. Stuff like that is greatly appreciated. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening. And also Friday, there will be a video coming out, free agent preview. So I'll be previewing some free agents. I could see the Giants signing all the positions. I will be bringing up cornerback, wide receiver, tight end. All positions will be included in that, so look forward to that. I appreciate you guys, and let's go Big Blue.